PTG, Proxy Table Gaming, Lucky Sixes, and Hyper G at your service.
I like that. I think we could turn that into a
jingle.
Christmas hit.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's a bit. It's not the right time for a Christmas hit.
No, we really missed the boat on that one. But we got like
Maybe
10 months to prepare.
Right, so. Exactly. So it can only get better from this point.
Well,
right now
exactly.
we have a concept. In 10 months' time, we'll have a product.
Yeah, and I mean the loyal followers that we have, it's bound to shoot to number one.
They could be the choir in the background. You have to have a choir in a Christmas.
You do. It's kind of just goes with the part, doesn't it? Really.
We'll flesh it out and get back to you. But if you could put in the comments your ideas, so we could steal them and make loads of Christmas money off it in the hits, then that'd be great.
It would, and everyone would benefit.
Start like that, and then there we go, and then into it.
Okay, right, yeah, fair enough.
Ching.
Right, and I wonder why battle reports take longer. Right.
I don't know what you mean.
So, Art of War preparation, which is minimal, of course, we've said. But for me, Orcs and Goblins are back, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Since a long time, since Art of War 1, when they first appeared. I have played them a few times in between now and Art of War 1. But this is their first tournament back in action. Oh, and technically, actually, Black Country Brawl 2, way back when, in 2019.
Wow.
Was Orcs and Goblins as well, actually.
Okay.
And I won Best in Race with them there. So there you go.
So you're hot off your form with the Orcs and Goblins is good.
Yeah, maybe like nearly 3 years later, 2.5 years later.
No, it's good.
Keep that. Totally different list. But and more points as well because that was a 3,000 point tournament.
Yeah.
But my opponent is Tony. We're playing Tony again.
Tony, a lot of airtime, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and he put on his special outfit for this one, as you can see demonstrated in the picture, because it's demons. So, yeah, he's switched from warriors to demons. I think basically that shows his transition between transition to the picture. Between
this is after.
Yeah,
post-op.
At the Masters Open, he was playing warriors with me.
Yes, he was.
And then obviously he's thinking of switching to demons, as every good player does. Now demons are top tier. And, yeah.
Well, they were before the update, of course.
True.
True.
Yeah, we'll see what happens to them. Now everyone's playing them.
Yeah.
Right. So we rolled up Counter Thrust and Hold the Centre. And Hold the Centre, interesting. As soon as we rolled it up, Tony was like, well, I'm not moving the ferals off of that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously you didn't know at this point I had ferals, but now you do. Because this is my Art of War list. And it won't change because this battle happened after list submission.
Yep.
So yeah, immediately you're going to think, well, okay, hang on. So what, Hyper G submitted a list with 0 practice battles? I'm sorry, but yes, I did.
Which is why the practice had to come in now.
The practice had to come, yeah. You'd think that, wouldn't you? But yes, so it's a bit quirky, I'll be honest, this list.
And 70 points cheaper.
Well, yeah, there is
that. Normal.
This has had 2 updates go through since
although only one of them counts because of our
only one of them
it's
counts.
A really strange time.
Yeah, definitely. It's an odd time of year with the updates left, right, and centre. So ignore the points mostly, and basically I will take you through it. So Feral Orc Warlord with paired weapons, blessed inscriptions, light armor, essence of mithril for a 2-up armor save. Crown of the Wizard King, because I also think that's quite jazzy when you're not rocking a master, at least. And Potion of Swiftness, just so that he can hit burst and bash things if necessary.
Which is good, because his name's Basher, right?
No, his name doesn't tend to be that.
Oh.
Right. I think his name is Shagger Heartless, actually.
Oh, Shagger.
Shagger Heartless. Yeah. Historically, many years.
I like it.
Over the course of PTG, that's been his name. So whether it sticks, it's up to you, viewers. Do you like Shagger Heartless or not?
Shagger?
Yeah. Play on words, maybe. You decide. Supported by a Feral Orc Shaman, Wizard Adept Pyromancy. Pyromancy is a path that I have never got on well with, so this is me trying again.
No, it's good. I'm a big fan of Pyromancy.
You are, and you keep telling me these things. And
you keep listening. What the hell?
Oh no! It does have a Book of Arcane Mastery to help out as well, though. So his first spell is going to be boosted, which is cool when you don't have a master. So, and then I've got something which definitely accounts towards the quirkiness: a Goblin Witch Doctor, Wolf Chariot, Wizard Adept Witchcraft, with Lightning Vambraces and Magical Heirloom. So might not be a master, but he does have 4 spells.
Yeah, he thinks he is.
He thinks he's a master, yeah. And he's on a chariot. And that will fit with the next character, which is my Goblin Chief on a Wolf Chariot. BSB, Banner of Discipline, Alchemist Alloy, Talisman Shielding, Lucky Charm. You can't really get highly armoured characters on chariots in Orcs. At least
what is his armour? 2 up?
3 up, I think.
3 up, 5 up.
3 up, rerollable, 5 up. Yeah. It's not terrible. It could be worse.
Sure.
But basically, those 2 characters go together in a unit alongside the 1 Goblin Wolf Chariot. So all 3 guys combined have 12 HP, and you have to allocate them.
So movement 9 impact hits.
Movement 9s, 3d6 plus 3 strength 5 impact hits. Obviously, the Goblin Chief has got a few attacks of his own, it's like I say, it's quirky. But when obviously a lot of this list pick is because of the painting that Gobbo's done recently for me.
Yeah,
most of it is the painting that Gobbo's done, and the obvious choice would be to have 3 Goblin Wolf Chariots. But for some reason, I decided
we don't do obvious here.
No, I definitely don't, because I like losing, apparently. No, we actually fought the battle. The tournament hasn't done yet, so maybe I'll win the tournament, and I'll be able to look back at this.
I think so. I think it's a foregone conclusion. You've got Pyromancy in there, and 2 Goblin Chariot characters. I think
exactly. The only thing I'm missing is a dragon, really, but that would have been difficult in Orcs and Goblins. Maybe a wyvern, but yeah. And then I've got a Goblin Chief, Forest Goblin on a Scarlet Spider. He is just chaff, there to die. My core is blooming expensive. I mean, Death Stars, are they a thing of the past in the meta? Well, in the meta, yes, but not for me.
You did it with Temple Guard. You do it with this.
Oh, man. Was that a Death Star? That was more of a I'm not going to kill you and you're not going to kill me star. But
was it anti-death star?
Yeah, except they did die. Anyway, we won't go there. 960 points of Feral Orc Head Bashers. And I've kitted them out with all the equipment they could possibly get. So shields, spears, Mammoth Stabber, and a Banner of the Relentless Company, full command. They're expensive because I've given them everything they can have, basically.
But they look damn good.
Yeah, I couldn't work out how to fill out my core without going massively over. Obviously, the points are wrong in this anyway. But the shields on them is ridiculously pointless. They're 6-up armor save with shields. But you never know. I should have a running count tournament of how many
6-ups
ferals are saved by my 6-up armor. Yeah. Shouldn't I? Yeah. Let's see if I can be bothered.
Let's see if you get to 35 throughout the whole.
Oh wow, that's well high.
Hey, it's 1 for everyone that's in there. I think that
would mean I'd have to take 210 hits on them.
They will
for the average 35 to be saved.
I'm going to put this to you now. You're going to take 210 hits.
Okay, all right, fair enough. No, but that's wounding hits.
Yeah, AP naught wounding hits.
Yeah, well, exactly, because if they're AP1, shield won't work anyway. Oh, brilliant. The rest of my core is just 5 Orc Boar Riders, Feral Orcs with paired weapons and musician. And because I'd asked Gobbo to basically paint all of my Boar Boys, I thought it would be rude not to put them in a list. And I decided to just go with 4 different units of Boar Boys, and they are all kitted out differently, so I will be having little markers next to them.
There was a secondary reason for this, though, wasn't
there? Yeah, secondary reason. Project, basically. All 4 of these units are scoring, and in tech, and historically in the last, 6 months to a year, I've noticed that I don't win objectives. I just don't. I think I might have drawn an objective once in tech. I just, yeah.
Well, it's something that we talked about off camera, and maybe in the future we'll talk about this sort of thing. But we don't really think about it when we're list building, do we?
No, not enough. Not enough. And
so this was actively looking at list building.
Yeah, I mean, within my quirky rules. But yeah, so I've basically ended up, I've got 5 scoring units, 4 of which are very mobile. And 3 of those 4 mobile units can't flee. So I'm going to see how it goes. You know, if I win a few objectives because I've got the mobility of scoring units, then great. That's the thinking anyway. One of them is a common Orc Edbasher unit with shields and lances. So they're actually a 2-up armor save. They're my heavy cavalry. And the others Edbashers with shields, and one's got a champion in case I need to challenge something out. So all 4 units are different. So yeah, it will be a nightmare remembering what to do with each of them. But yeah, we'll see how it works out. I got 10 Nasher Herd for chaff-ish.
It's fun.
Yeah, whitey chaff. 2 wrecking teams. I mean, I purchased these off of Tommy T, good lad, a little while ago, and yeah, I asked Gobbo to build them for me. And I know not many people take wrecking teams anymore at the moment. Guess they're just a bit unreliable or get shot off, etc.
It's just random, aren't they? Random in a relatively not random game.
Exactly, and in a meta that a lot of people like to shoot, it's probably not their time of day at the moment, but they are painted, and I want to use them, so we'll see how it goes.
They're cheap as well, man.
Yeah, and another little tally I might do is how many times they actually reach the enemy lines. So we'll see about that. There's the other chariot, and then I've got 2 chaffing units of Goblin Raiders, 1 common Goblin, 1 Forest Goblin, and then Gargantula, obviously.
Because reasons.
Got to have a Gargantula.
Yeah, man.
There you go. I mean, Orcs and Goblins lists always take ages to go through because there's just so many freaking units, and especially when you play it like I am. So, I mean, I've got that core unit which is worth 960 points, and they have the Warlord and the Orc Shaman in them.
Yeah.
So combined, that unit is like 700 points plus a general.
1700.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What did I say?
7. Yeah. You missed off 1,000.
Oh, okay. 700, did I say?
Yeah. The Edbashers get cheaper?
Yeah, I'm not sure my opponent would be happy if he killed them and I gave them 700 BP, but yeah. So, I mean, it's a Death Star, but everything else, barring the Gargantula, is cheap as chips, and my opponent doesn't get much points for killing anything else, is what I was thinking. So right.
A hybrid Death Star MSU.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a new style. We'll see if it sticks. Demon Legions, Tony Hale. Not sure how much he's played Demons. I haven't seen him play Demons, but I think he used to play them a little while ago.
He's played Demons quite a bit, and he's got some really nice models and stuff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But a new list for him.
Definitely. I've never played against a Morak Bakan, so looking forward to that. Greater Dominion, obviously, the general. Evocation with an Adept Iron Husk and Centipede legs, so no joke at all. And that whole gaining wounds as it and stuff as it kills stuff is amazing. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. You know, literally just run away mainly, which I can't do a lot of. Sentinel of Nakuja is the Master Thaumaturgy with Dark Pulpit, which is cool. So actually has a few attacks of her own, which is nice. In core, 21 Myrmidons with Crack Tail, full command, very cool. Succubi with Dark Hide, and Dark Hide is obviously, hot at the moment.
For
reasons.
Hot right now.
Yeah. 10 Imps with Mark of Eternal Champion, so they've got the Spear of Infinity, which is cool. Very useful. 6 Hoarders. I mean, Hoarders are great, aren't they? They really are tough to get through. Liking that. 8 Eidolons. Eidolons, yeah, however you want to say it.
It's from Final Fantasy 9, is it IP?
Okay, fair enough. They scout normal scout other than Dark-Hide scout, and they are threatening to my heavy cavalry Orc unit, because obviously they chew through armor, so I'll be looking to keep on the opposite side of the board to them. 4 Bloatflies, which again just hurt your back whenever you hurt them, so they're tough, and 5 Furies for a bit of chaff. And Tony was laughing about why the Furies have got Dark Hide. They really don't need it. Their movement 918. and they can get anywhere they want to go. They don't need to be Dark Hide. But I think he just used up the points on his list. Cool. All right, let's see how we go. This one was on Warhall.
What?
Woo-hoo. Love it. Yeah. Tony was trying out Warhall for the first time and very much enjoyed it. Actually, you do get a free period with Pro on Warhall when you first sign up, so it's worth playing about with it during that time.
Just to have a look,
and I was happy to give him a bit of a tutorial. So this was very much played in friendly conditions. We took our time with it because obviously learning controls and everything. And had a bit of a crowd actually. You joined us toward the end.
Yep.
And we had a few
Proxy.
people. Yeah, Proxy and Gobbo joined briefly. So yeah, it was a good occasion. So let's go through it from the top-down point of view. For Tony, we have Hoarders on his left. We have the Maw of Akan looking sideways. We have Myrmidons on a hill. We have the Hellhounds up front. They were Tony's first drop. It's counter thrust. Then you have Imps with the Sentinel and Nakuja in there. Bloatflies on the right. And he has Eidolons scouting to come on later. What else does he have scouting? They're on the side.
They
might be under. Yeah, Succubi, Darkhide, and of course the Furious Darkhide. Cool. For me, I have my common goblins, raiders on the left-hand side. Then it is my heavy cavalry unit in the water. Then a unit of Ed Basher's Feral Orcs. I think they're the ones without the champion, if I remember rightly. So the champions are usually underline or have the white border reference. Then I got my Goblin Chariot behind. Their idea is basically to zone the flank of my Feral core unit. And so obviously the two characters are on the right-hand side of that because one's a BSB and one's a Wizard Adept Witchcraft. One wrecking team in front of them. The core Ferals were as far forward as they could be once his Hellhounds had pushed them back with counter thrust. And it's hold the centre, so I will just be running towards the centre and saying, come and get me, while trying to hold off the Hoarders. Gargantula, I didn't really know what to do with the Gargantula. A lot of people play Gargantulas on the flank, but I wasn't really sure whether that worked for me or not. And Bloatflies, yeah, they're tough. So
it's toxic though, isn't it? The Bloatflies stuff back.
Yeah, so. yeah. Maybe it would have been alright if I'd have gone on the flank. But again, I wanted to support the Ferals. Then I got another unit of Ed Bashers, the one without the champion, just behind the ruins in the middle. And then the core Ferals is the other cavalry with the what are they called, Nashers behind them, and another wrecking team. I've got my Scuttler Spider and single character on scouting duty.
Nice.
Cool. I think that's just another picture of the sideways view of how wonderful Warhall makes things look.
Yeah, very nice. Very pretty.
So, that might just be another picture, actually. Yeah, no, it was. Oh, no, here you go. This is Darkhide.
The Scouts.
So, yeah, we've got the Furies coming on, and we've got the Myrmidons coming on.
Succubi.
That's exactly what I mean. Yeah, my scouts. So we've got the Scuttler Spiders. I actually deployed them in my own deployment zone because I didn't really see any gain in giving him early charges to get rid of my units. I think Tony is going first. He is going first. So yeah, definitely. If I'd have moved my scouts too much nearer, he'd have just charged them, got rid of them. And other than the Ferals, I don't think any of my units can go through his in one turn or anything like that. So. And he's not going to put anything in front of the Ferals until he absolutely wants to. So, yeah, there's that. I meant to look up what number 6 spell on Thaumaturgy is. It's the one where you both roll a d3. He gets +1.
Okay.
What was it called? Can't remember what it's called. I meant to look that up before we started this, so that's on me. But it only kills one of the Feral Orc Ed Bashers. So, which is okay. Then he tried a Spear of Infinity, which I think it kills 1 or 2 Feral Orcs, maybe. We'll find out in the next picture. No, we won't find out in the next picture. Yeah, but the reason why he had to do Spear of Infinity on the Feral Orcs was because the Sentinel of Nakuja was too far away from this wrecking team to shoot it with Spear of Infinity. and it was like literally about 0.3 of an inch, and yeah, that was unfortunate for Tony. But I basically then, I think I stopped the first one on the Feral Orcs, thinking, okay, great, my wrecking team is safe from Sphere of Infinity. And then, of course, used all my Dispel dice to stop it on the Ferals, which I didn't really need to do because Ferals could eat that up. And then, of course, his Imp champion measured the range and was in range at Sphere of Infinity because it was literally 0.3 of an inch out originally.
Sure, yeah.
And popped off 2 wounds on the wrecking team, which is really annoying because the Eidolons obviously can shoot at him and probably finish him off before he's even moved. So that was a real rookie error, especially as Tony, in hindsight, I should have been really nice to Tony and said to him, okay, so your Sentinel is only 0.3 inches out, just move him 0.3 inches forward on Warhall because we're learning Warhall and cast it anyway. And who knows, maybe it would have been a different result. But I got my 2 wounds anyway. So.
Yeah.
The Eidolons, you're going to have to keep saying this, those boys.
I don't know for sure, so. But I will keep correcting you.
Yeah, they shoot and fail to kill it off.
Oh.
Fail to kill off the wrecking team. So I need a 15 in order, 15 plus on 3d6 in order to
juicy.
Get into them. It is juicy. Obviously, if I roll 3 5s, then I take d3 wounds, which will kill him before he actually gets there. And if I roll 3 6s, he also dies before I gets there. So I've got to roll 15 plus, but it has to be a 16 or a 17. Because he'll die if he gets a 15 or an 18.
Man. That's funny.
So there's not many, 15 plus sounds makeable, maybe, but when 15 and 18 kill him before he goes, not quite so much. Okay, and rolling straight into that, he doesn't roll a 15. He rolls fairly high, like it's a 13 or something like that. Doesn't take any wounds because it's not a triple. So he's alive, and he will cause an issue. Yeah. He'll have to be shot, and Tony's.
Yeah, it still sucks up a lot of. That's 2 turns of shooting from the Eidolons.
Exactly. Yeah, got to be happy with that. The other one moves up in front of the Hoarders. I just want to basically keep the Hoarders back for as long as I can, so that my Ferals can move up the centre. And yeah, if the Hoarders want to go through my wrecking team, then so be it.
Sure.
And this was the rest of my move. So Gargantula, Ferals pop the banner, Relentless banner, to move as far forward as they can, while the Hoarders would have to get through. I think the Hoarders haven't got line of sight on the Ferals actually, which is great. And they would have to go through a wrecking team if they wanted it. And also, I chaff them with the Goblin Raiders. So yeah, they
triple no.
They basically can't get into the wrecking team because of the Goblin. So I wanted the wrecking team to just go bang straight through everything and then be at the back of them to cause problems, hopefully. And yeah, I didn't want any kind of shenanigans with the Hoarders getting into. I think that maybe they could see the flank of the Ferals actually with that in mind. But yeah, this stops them getting there. My cavalry units on the left just move forward quite tentatively because I just want to keep the Hoarders back as long as possible. And the Succubi being over there is interesting because with hold the centre, scoring unit on the flank, I reckon I can keep them out of the game as well. Hopefully, all being well. Gargantula moves up in the ruins. He's fine because he doesn't march. And he's Strider, so he doesn't have to worry about it. And I move my other cavalries around. The core unit of Ferals is the one on the right. And yeah, that's how I'm looking. Can you spot the obvious mistake that I have made tactically? I mean, you might know about it.
I think I know about it, so I won't say, but yeah.
Cool, but yeah, I have made a very poor mistake at this point. So yeah, pause the battle. Write your comment, timestamp it so we know you're doing it, not cheating, and say what you
You only cheat yourself.
Yeah, absolutely right, yeah. Let me know what you think my stupid mistake is here. So, well, there might be like loads, but I've only, only one of them cost me.
There's only one,
Yeah, exactly. There's top down, just as we go into magic. Yeah, I left the unit markers on. That's just me being lazy or forgetful. In Magic, I get, is it Cascading Fire, I think, number 2. I got Cascading Fire and Flaming Swords. And Crown of the Wizard King drew up Fireball, which actually isn't ideal for me because my general is in the Ferals and I want him in combat. So a Magic Missile on my combat-y general.
Well, you're not.
Well, exactly. And I get the Was it, or what's the one that stops shooting and +2 to casting?
Yeah, it's not Twisted Effigy, is it?
No, it is. It is Twisted
Okay.
Effigy. Yeah, it is. On them. So at least the Sentinel is at +2 on his casting rolls, or -2.
Yeah, sure.
And the Imps can't shoot me as well, which is a bonus. Cool. Into Tony's turn 2. He charges into the flank with the Myrmidons. That's a cool idea. I mean, it means his Hoarders can take their time about what they're going to do. And they'll easily eat through the common goblins. And yeah, this is the fruit of my mistake. His Hellhounds charge into my Feral Orc core unit.
Ouch,
I guess, I mean, I'm frenzied. I can't flee it. As soon as he did it, I thought to myself, wow, I've left them so much an easy charge. I think it was like a 6 or a 7 with Swiss Stride. It is so easy, you know, and I can't flee. I guess my issue was I was treating the Hellhounds as his chaff unit, as chaff with Furies. And while to some extent they can be chaff, if you let Hellhounds charge into you, you know, against the right unit, and Feral Orc non-Ed Bashers haven't got a lot of armor, those Hellhounds are going to chew through them, and I haven't got any counters charge for it either. So I was disappointed as soon as that happened, because I didn't need that unit of Feral Orc Boar Boys so far up the board. They're not achieving anything. It's not like they're going to really get into the Eidolons.
Gave him an out
or anything. So yeah, and Tony resets his line on the right side, so that he's looking inward, which is very cool. Hoarders don't really move much, but hopefully, and the Maw just moves on the flank, which is fine. Kind of like just getting around the Hoarders, really. Nothing else there. He gets Hand of Heaven off, the normal Hand of Heaven, not through Lightning Bone Braces. Kills a Feral Orc. And he gets Spear of Infinity and Spear of Infinity on the Ferals and the Gargantula. I can't see how many wounds the Gargantula took here. I think it's 1. So it could have been worse.
A lot of 2 dice spells, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So, and obviously they get higher strength the more spells you cast. So not sure why I was stopping, really. But either way, he managed to get a few spells off this turn. Well, actually, he got a lot of spells off this turn, especially considering Twisted Effigy.
Yeah,
it literally didn't slow him down at all. He was like rolling really high, and I think I dispelled 1 Spear of Infinity.
Sure,
but yeah, these kill off the Wrecking Team. So if this were the tally, that's 1 that hasn't reached the enemy lines.
Yep.
Over here, though, he kills the common Goblin Wolf Riders and chooses to overrun into the Wrecking Team, rolling perfectly for the Succubi. To land on top of the Wrecking Team. Which is interesting because it means I actually get 3d6 hits instead of 2d6 hits. Yeah. And I'm thinking that's okay because I'll kill a heck of a load of Succubi here. And I didn't take a picture directly, but we will see how many wounds they took in a minute. So hold that thought. The Hellhounds easily go through my Ferals, gutted about that, and they overrun into the Nashers. And that is no better combat because he's attacking first.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's horrible. I've just literally given Tony 2 units there. So, looking at the Succubi over on the left-hand side, they only took 4 wounds from 3d6 hits, which I think is really low.
Strength 5?
Strength 6. Yeah. I think it's really low amount of damage. I rolled average for my hits, so like a 10 or 11. And I was thinking woundy on 2s, you know, 9 or 10, or 8 or 9 should wound. Maybe 7 on a bad day. And obviously Tony's got Aegis save, so I guess maybe it is about right. But in my head, I felt like I should kill a lot more than 4. So, yeah. But I have lost the Wrecking Team. But does that count as him getting to the enemy lines? Probably does.
Yeah, definitely. You're 1 for 1.
1 for 1, yeah. Okay, cool. And I choose to do this with my left flank. I charge in my heavy cavalry into the flank of his Succubi. I am 2 up armor, and they don't have a lot of attacks against me. Well, probably 6 attacks with 2 models, which is still decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't really figure out what to do on the left flank to be best. But I moved my Scutter Spiders up into the front of them as well, just in case something goes horribly wrong. It's hard for me to justify why I did what I did on the left, because hindsight I think it was terrible. So, yeah, we'll see how that works out rather than me endlessly talk about what decision I should and shouldn't have made.
Sure.
I've actually put the picture of pre this decision at the end of this battle report. So potentially we can come back to it.
Yes.
If that's all right with you, Lucky Sixes?
Quite all right. I do like a discussion.
Absolutely. So I move the Ed Basher, the 4 Ed Bashers at the back of the ruins to face the Hellhounds, knowing that I've got to stop their advance in some way if I can. But yeah, it's not ideal, those being there. My Ferals move up 8 inches onto the objective. 8 inches feels so slow when the enemy's moving backwards, as I've said before. But that's what Tony did. He, got away from my Death Star, really.
Yeah.
And my Gargantula is now tentatively keeping the line alongside the Ferals, not worrying about the ruins. There's an overhead going into magic. And in combat, I only kill about 2 Succubi, which I guess when you think about it, I only had like 3. I had 4 of my guys attacking, and they are only the common orc versions.
Sure.
So they don't have like devastating charge and battle focus and all that lot. So really, and it goes back to the discussion we'll have at the end, what did I expect out of that heavy cavalry unit? Because he passes his supernal test, because his general, the Moor, is right there, and doesn't take any from the losing the combat, and he actually kills one of mine as well. So yeah, and now I've created my own little traffic jam as well, going into his turn next. The Hellhounds easily wipe away the Nashers, so wow, 2 units I've given him with that poor decision.
Yeah.
And it's going into his turn, like I say, and yeah, he's more charges into the flank of these 4 boys with an easy overrun into my feral Edbashers. I mean, I've brought that on myself, totally, really. Because my ideal situation with the left flank was keep the Hoarders away from my ferals and give as little points as I can to his units. And what I've done here is I've basically fed my units to him one by one. And the Chariots, who, in the list discussion, we talked about their impact hits 3d6 plus 3, strength 5 impact hits being great. I'm not charging through that lot. No. I've completely just ballsed up that flank, really.
Sure, yeah.
And the Hoarders...
what can happen with MSU sometimes.
Exactly, yeah, totally, yeah. Especially if you don't play it well. The Hoarders don't need to do anything. I mean, they're traffic jammed as well, but the Succubi are fine, you know. Hellhounds charge into here. I don't consider that going much differently to the previous one. This unit of War Boys is Ed Bashers instead of just the core version, but I'm a man down, and yeah. And his Furies have moved up to chaff my my Ferals and my Gargantula as well, while his Eidolons move into shoot into the middle. And his Myrmidons even move forward because they know the Ferals are chaff now, so they're literally sitting on a hill with a reroll. So
yeah,
looking good. Tony is doing well. Hand of Heaven kills a couple of Ferals. And Spear of Infinity. I don't know why I didn't take this picture with the wounds showing, but I think the actual unit takes a wound from this, which is fine. It's into the flank. I've got to expect them to get a bit shot a little bit. Over here, the Moor actually only kills 2, which could have been a lot worse. He even had not Ancestral Aid. What's the other one?
Spectral Blades.
No. This is Ancestral Aid. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Spectral Blade is 1. Ancestral Aid is 4. Yes, he had Ancestral Aids and only killed the 2 of them. I killed a few Succubi this turn as well, which was quite good. But I do run away, and I believe I get caught as well. Maybe the next picture will show that. Not specifically, but it does show that I'm a cavalry unit down on the left, and so he overruns into the flank of my other Ed Basher unit. And the Succubi, obviously, they pursue, because killing them would have been better for me, really. He wouldn't have been able to overrun with the Succubi. But with the pursuit, he can go into my Scuttler Spiders, who will die to Succubi.
Guys on the right there did all right there.
On the right, the Edbasher's unit survived. I only lost 3, and I actually killed 3 Hellhounds back. So yeah, I stuck there. I've only got 1 left though, and he is attacking first. So I will lose my 3rd unit to the Hellhounds. So yeah, it's not getting any better over there. But yeah, hold them up a turn at least. So chuffed as the Feral Orcs were, I declare a charge with just my general, with just Shagger on his own into the Myrmidons. I really don't want to be held up by Furies any longer. This is like my turn 3, I think it is. Is it 3? Yeah, I think it is. And yeah, I think that the Shagger can go through a few Myrmidons. I mean, they're good, but they're better on the charge. And so getting Shagger into them early. I didn't think he'd want his Sentinel to flank charge. The Imps can't flank charge him because they're caught on the side of the Myrmidons, I think. Or they wouldn't have line of sight, one or the other. The Sentinel could, but I didn't think she'd want to into my general because he's got divine attacks and all that.
Yeah, sure.
And that would be a great opportunity to have a go at the Sentinel. And yeah, and the guy actually charges Furies to clear them as well.
Nice.
The general gets in, and it means that I can swift reform my ferals so they can actually get through the gap and put the pressure on. I am still within 6 inches of the middle, so I am clocking up objective points. I think at the end of this turn, I'll go 2-0 up on the objective, which is cool. So happy with that in terms of my trying to win objective goal. I don't think I had a lot other movement other than to put the chariots sort of in a back-to-back scenario in the middle.
Yeah.
Like Ferals facing one way, Gargantula facing the other way, and chariots facing left. But yeah, I'm ridiculously running out of units on my left flank thanks to my poor decisions. What do we got now? I get Evil Eye on the chariots in case they do get an opportunity to make a good charge. But I mean, they'd have to not get charged in the next turn in order for that to come to fruition. So unlikely. And I didn't really need the Evil Eye on the Ferals at this point because I didn't think they were really going to be too far. I'd used the War quite early on in the battle, actually. I think in turn 2.
Oh, right.
To get an extra movement. So I may have even failed a turn 2 charge on the Ferals on the Myrmidons, actually. And that was why maybe I didn't move very far in my turn 2 with the Ferals.
Sure.
But the War didn't do it, basically. Cool. Over here, don't worry, there is another Maw. Tony.
There's so many.
Yeah, Tony was doing his wounds on the Maw, and Warhall generated a new Maw just as I took the picture. But no, there isn't another one, so don't worry about it.
He grows.
Yeah. He absolutely goes through those cavalry though. And this was interesting. So my Gargantula went and killed the Furies. He needed a 12 to overrun and hit the Imps. And at this stage in the battle, I was kind of aware that I'd made some really poor decisions. And I was like, I'm probably not going to win this one because I'm just bleeding units left, right, and centre. But my Ferals and my Gargantula are strong. So why not just say I'll overrun, needing a 12? Swift strike.
Let's do it.
There's always a chance. And he only got him.
By Jove, he
got it. He got it. I mean, there is a counter charge with the bloat flies, which isn't ideal. But yeah, Gargantula's into the Imps.
Yeah, man.
I'm chapping my own Ferals, so that might not have been a great idea anyway, but yeah, it was fun just to see him get a double 6. Really.
Yeah.
So, if I don't get a double 6, I get anything else, I just move forwards and I'm in front of the bloat flies, not block toads. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, I get a double 6 and there I am.
Nice.
So there's that. Have I killed some Myrmidons? I think I have. No, I think this is his champion being killed. Yeah, I think it's his champion. I'd killed 1 or 2 with Hand of Heaven earlier. Or Cascading Fire.
Is that a wound on you?
No, that is the General's token. What is it? Dominion or whatever that he's put.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Sure.
Something like that. I can't remember what it does, but yeah. So yes, I killed the champion without any trouble with my general. Have I killed some imps here? I think I've killed at least 1 imp, but that might have been with range, so we might not have done that combat yet. Is that the end of... That's the end of my turn, I think. Surely I've done some wins with my Gargantula. Oh no, I couldn't have done any wins with the Gargantula because he overran into that.
The spider on the left looks like he's fled.
Oh yeah, the spider is. They're running. 4 of them were killed by the succubi, and he runs away. He actually doesn't take any DTs for running through the moor, which is a terrifying thought on its own. Yes, so technically I've got 1 scutter spider alive, and the hellhounds have gone through my final cavalry unit, which is upsetting. And yeah, speaking of the hellhounds, they flank charge the chariots. That's not where chariots want to be at all. Charged by more the succubi and the hellhounds.
It's really not.
There's very little I can learn about my army when I play it so badly.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the situation that I've given Tony, and yeah, the hoarders are just thinking to themselves, well, all right,
you boys do it.
Yeah, all yours. Yeah, we'll just trundle up and watch. So there's that. The Myrmidons have reformed at this point to get slightly over there. I don't know why they did that. I mean, they're kind of chaffed on the impassable.
They're not getting out of that, though, are they?
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Magic-wise, Tony gets, is it Veil thingy?
Whispers of the Veil?
That's the one on my spider. He gets Ancestral Aid on his imps.
That's pretty good, actually, to be fair.
Yeah. In my previous Magic phase, I had put Deceptive Glamour on the Bloatflies. So that's actually my spell on them to reduce their agility, which meant that my Gargantula was attacking first, which was cool.
Sure.
That was in the previous turn. I managed to get that on the Gargantula, knowing that I was potentially going to be charged by the Bloatflies. Didn't expect it to be like this, but so there's that. Over here, my Gargantula does incredibly well. Like, genuinely does so well. Kill 2 Bloatflies, and I think I kill. There's 3 imps left. There were 6 imps and 2 Bloatflies by the Gargantula and the Goblins. The Goblins were contributing towards that as well, actually, funnily enough. What I didn't manage to show with this picture is the Gargantula has taken 7 wounds. So it took 6 wounds in return. There's just 1 left. So the annoying thing about this is this was Tony's turn, and I would have been more than happy to lose the Gargantula, and then I've got countercharge with the ferals.
Sure, yeah.
But because the Gargantula has 1 wound left, yay, he's alive and he hasn't died yet. But my ferals are just flapping now.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's one of those annoying things when your unit survives and it actually gets in your way.
Yeah.
But I have to be happy with the Gargantula. He did really well. Tony's Bloatflies absolutely smashed him around with toxic hits. I think 3 of those wounds he did were rolling 6s on the toxic hits.
Yeah.
Passing the fortitude and doing that. So there's that. And also the Myrmidons now reform to be in ranks. Which
General's doing work. Sense.
He is. It's slow going though, and I believe I don't think the pictures show it, but during one of those combats, I actually took 2 wounds on the general.
Oof.
And only got 1 wound left, so I don't think it's quite as safe as these photos are making it look. Actually,
yeah.
So there is that. I think that's just a picture of how it looked, because we certainly haven't done the combat at the bottom yet.
I was just say.
Wait for it. There you go, no chariots. Yeah, absolutely, just wipe the floor with, of course, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
And annoyingly, the succubi go and overrun onto the objective, meaning we draw 1-1 in turn 4. It means it's still 2-0 to me in turn 4. That's right, isn't it? Yeah.
So, what you've got left is those 3 units and a fleeing spider.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I said in the list setup that a lot of my units weren't worth anything, but when you kill all of them combined, they're worth a bit.
Yeah, so, I suppose. Makes sense.
Yeah. But I am 2-0 up on the objective with only 2 turns to go, so maybe I can win the objective. I turn around my Feral Orcs because they just couldn't charge. What else are they going to do? I could have turned to face the Myrmidons, but again, I would need the general to die in order for my Ferals to charge in turn 6. And I didn't want that to happen, so I had to hope my general was going to just stay for the course now.
Yeah, for sure.
And my feral orc shaman turns to try and flame off the shaman, is the idea. The succubi, so that I can win the objective at the end of turn 5.
Yeah.
So Oh yeah, no, sorry. This is bottom of the 4, actually, isn't it? I've still got my turn in bottom of the 4.
Yep.
So, this is after combat. A whole load dies on my side. Gargantula goes down, but he does actually pop the bloatflies, which is good because that's kind of an even trade in terms of points, really. So I've got to be happy about the Gargantula's contribution there. The imps survived, of course, because I didn't quite get my stomp to finish them off.
Sure, yeah.
The Myrmidons pop off the last wound on my general, who failed to save any of his Aegis saves. He was saving a few with armor saves, but 5-up Aegis didn't save any.
Sure, yeah.
And yeah, as you can see, the magic did 1 wound to the Succubi with Cascading Fire, not Fireball, Cascading Fire and Hand of Heaven. Just couldn't. No, I didn't have Hand of Heaven, so that's wrong. I think it was just Cascading Fire. But
yeah.
Yeah, couldn't kill the Succubi off. It does mean it's 2-0 at the end of turn 4. And he charges everything into these. I was somewhat surprised to see his Succubi charge in, but the reason why he did that was because we worked on this and the Maw couldn't fit. I think you were back at this point when you were watching this. The Maw couldn't fit into the combat with the Hoarders. There was no way it would work. So the Hoarders come in, and with the Myrmidons in the flank, my Ferals have found themselves ganged up on, really, and they haven't even got a Warlord in there to help out. And this is the last picture. That was 1 round of combat. He kills loads of Ferals. I do kill the Succubi to at least get their points. But the Hoarders are scoring, so it won't help me with the objective. And I think, actually, I might have got my turns mixed up because I think he kills them in his turn 5, or maybe in my turn 5. Sure. Goes 2-1 in turn 5, and then turn 6, obviously, I've got literally nothing except a fleeing spider left. For the record, the spider does get away. The Scuttler Spider.
Yes.
So I do have something on the board. Yeah. But the objective is tied 2-2 at the end of it. And it is a 17-3 to Tony with maximum pointage and then draw objective.
Yeah.
I mean, I screwed that up pretty badly, I think. Tony said that I outdeployed him. And to some extent, I agree. I did think my deployment looked good. I just don't think I played it well with my many scoring cavalry units. I didn't need to get close to his Hoarders.
Is it you trying to do something with all of them?
I was trying to do something with all of them. When really, I should have been doing 1 at a time, maybe, and leaving space for my chariots to charge into something. Because, I mean, my 3 chariots charge into the Succubi unit. I think they absolutely mince them.
Yeah.
I mean, admittedly, they could potentially get countercharged, but maybe I used my chaff too early in that respect. So... yeah, I think I messed that up. And I think this is the picture I mentioned earlier I wanted to briefly come back to. This decision was where it went wrong, really. Charging the flank of the Succubi with heavy cavalry wasn't needed. I could have just had the Scuttler Spiders chaff the Succubi, maybe, if I didn't want to charge them this turn, and move my chariots backwards a bit, both cavalry units backwards a bit, and then... basically, I've got the Feral's flank is safe because the Succubi are chaffed by the spiders. And then I've got 3 units that can countercharge, and his Hoarders and his Maw have to think about what they do. Whereas what I actually did was moved everything forward into a big jam-packed area. Yeah. And he could just go through it one by one. So...
and I guess same with the Knights on the right as well.
The Hellhounds, you mean?
Well, yeah, putting your Knights on the right up.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not used to Orc ball boys being called Knights.
Sorry.
Yeah. That was terrible. It was literally a 6 for the Hellhounds to charge, and I lost 3 units to the Hellhounds. And considering I was going to this battle, kind of considering Hellhounds chaff unit, which is obviously wrong anyway. But yeah, they killed 3 units worth of mine, and it was a poor effort from me. Maybe I got my deployment spot on, because Tony said I did out-deploy him. But,
sure,
not great.
Get it out of the way now.
Absolutely, yeah, totally. And there are lessons learned, despite how terrible I played it. So we'll see how we go. This battle report is actually going out on the Friday before Art of War.
It is.
So I'm hoping my round 1 opponent, and any opponents I face in the tournament, don't really get a chance to study my list and
Well,
tactics.
I mean, if you play it different, this would be a good one for them to study.
Exactly, because I won't play like this again, he says. So you won't learn anything if you watch this one, folks, and you play me over the weekend. So yeah, there you go. I'm not. Usually, I say to the viewers, like, give us your comments on what you think I should have done. But I think, I mean, you can do. I won't say no to them. But I think I ballsed it up so badly that there's just so many things that I could have done differently. The Ferals did what they should have done, but should I have charged the general at that point, or should I have charged the Furies with everything?
Do you agree with Tony that you out-deployed him as well?
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know.
And if so, why? Why did you out-deploy him?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think I had the capability of stopping his Succubi, his Hoarders, and his Maw from getting into this battle. I had the units over there to deal with that.
Sure.
And I tapped out. And not only did I tap out, but the Succubi ended up drawing the objective for him, which is crazy considering they deployed on the far flank.
Yeah.
So there's that. Anyway, it was a great battle. It was lovely to see Warhall in action, and obviously Tony and Proxy enjoyed seeing Warhall, and I think they're converting to it, so that's great. And yeah, it was really good fun to have a game with lots of people commenting and enjoying themselves. So we roll into Art of War with 2 defeats.
Yes, both from Tony. Tony giving us a whipping. Thankfully, he's not there though, so
he's not at Art of War, so yeah, we won't have to worry about that problem.
Yeah.
So. And he can't take warriors and demons, even if he was there. So,
and I think we've got one more practice with the Kingdom of Ectane before we get stuck into Art of War proper, but also bit of time. But we're going this weekend, time of release. So on this one, we're going tomorrow, or I'm already there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you might already be there.
But yeah, so hit us up if you're going to Art of War. Let us know. Let us know what you're thinking, what your views are going into it. There's plenty of prizes and things at Art of War.
Yeah,
and War of
don't
Art.
forget the raffle. The raffle.
Well. There's so much going on. It's going to be a great weekend, regardless of all that as well. And yeah, I mean, in terms of this, if you're on Warhall, let us know, and we'll see if we can give you a game.
Yeah. Lovely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm up for games on Warhol all the time.
Yeah, so like, share, subscribe, hit us up on Twitter and on the forums and Instagram with Gobbo and Facebook and blah 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 blah. We're everywhere. We're everywhere in your face holes.
Great, cool. Look forward to Art of War. Let's do this.
Yes, man. See you later.